Welcome back, vampire enthusiasts, to more Blood Omen. Today with me is the games librarian.
My brain is literally melting.
And we heard about this area in a previous section where Ariel talked about, it was either Ariel or the Oracle, who has a strange fascination with time, about a land that's been twisted because of dark magic. And that would be this area, Dark Eden.
I think it was the one at the pillars.
The poor wretch was warped beyond recognition. To think it was once human.
That would be Ariel, and I think you're right. I think that's who it was. Out of my face, punk.
Such strange creatures that had been spawned by this dark magic. Things half insect and half mammal. Human torsos grafted onto abominations of the flesh. Sick as it was, I couldn't help but admire its creator's ingenuity.
I say it all the time, but this is another area that would be really interesting to see in a remake. Just to see how twisted they can make it.
And there's caves hidden by trees.
Yep.
The blood of ages flows so sweet.
Oh yeah.
Come, drink from us. Your magic energy recovers more quickly, for our blood enhances.
Nice. I wasn't paying attention, but I think I was poisoned by one of these things before. And you could see there, those blood fountains will cure you of that poison. I'm going to use that spell I mentioned last video a lot in this one, where you just suck the blood from everything around you, just to save time. Although I can't do that when I have the axes equipped. However, if I've got the fire sword equipped, I can.
Indeed. The axes are good for getting rid of those pesky trees.
Yeah, they are. And that spell is also a good counter to the fire sword, where you can't suck blood from enemies. You can always just use that spell to get blood. It does cost you magic, but you can do it. Fuck you, trees. Nobody likes you.
If it could be said that a land descended into madness, 'twould be an accurate account of Dark Eden. A garden of horrors, seeded with thick perversion of nature's design. I knew that this Dark Eden I had trespassed upon would continue to grow until all of Nosgoth was consumed.
It's like a virus.
Indeed.
My God. Speaking of viruses, one thing I've always been interested in, it'll never happen, of course. I've always wanted to see, ever since I've gotten into this series, I've always wanted to play through a survival horror type area like the mansion from Resident Evil as Kain, just walking around fucking everything up. I think that'd be kind of
Magic seethed and shifted. I watched the dome of energy as it expanded, absorbing and recreating, consuming life and leaving behind only a twisted parody.
I wonder if there's a mod for that.
Probably not, but the funny thing is, I wonder how he would react to the blood, because he would have to drink blood, but all the zombies and everything in that area are infected. So then he would get infected by something too. Oops, don't step in the lava. I find that out the hard way. It will kill you. Damn it. What did I just tell myself? Damn it, past me. Don't step in the lava.
I passed through the wall unharmed. It seemed the magic only preyed on things that were alive and pure. Or perhaps it simply decided that I was twisted enough.
I think with all the powers and everything you get in this game, it would be kind of fun to walk through there, taking out monsters.
Yeah. Some of them monsters are just blending right into the background. You must have had trouble seeing them.
Yeah, it's a problem for me. I've mentioned that before in this LP, and then when we were watching the Games Guild stream this yesterday, that a lot of things in this game are really hard for me to see. Not only is it really dark, but everything blends in. And if you have vision problems, it's an issue. And from your perspective, a lot of this is green, so that's going to be harder for you to see too.
Yeah, everything looks the same. Like, it's really hard to tell where some of the enemies are, and if they're like moving, maybe I can see them, but when they're stood still, no.
Yeah, there's a lot of green in this area. There are some brown patches for paths, but if green looks brown to you, then it's all going to look the same to you. And yeah, these enemies really blend in. So this is another section where you're supposed to use the charm ability. However, as I've talked about before, that will not work for me. So this is the workaround I went with instead. I tried mist. That did not work. You still die from the lava, even in mist form, which is annoying and kind of bullshit.
Well, wouldn't the lava be evaporating the mist?
Maybe, I don't know, but either way, this wolf form seems to work pretty well too, so that's the route I decided to go with.
And there's a cave.
And I ignore that cave for the time being.
A tower stood in the distance. From its apex spewed the vortex of energy that shaped the lands below.
I'm not sure if that's the cave that we're going to start the next video on or not. It looks very similar though.
Yeah. With me, if I see any cave, I have to go in it.
Oh, I know.
The surface of the castle belied its interior, for it was far larger inside than out. With the powers the Circle had at its disposal, it would have been simple to distort space to accommodate this strange structure.
But as I've said before, this is a story run. I'm not trying to show everything this game has to offer.
Yeah.
Because as we've talked about many times over the last few videos, in terms of the gameplay itself, I'm not interested.
Yeah, you just want to get the story over and done with.
Yeah. In this area, there's going to be a lot of these spiky balls that move back and forth. You can't really do anything about them except use mist. So they can't hurt you. Which again costs magic. I end up needing the mist form to go through these spikes anyways. That actually reminds me of something though. Kain doesn't have to step on these spikes directly.
Yeah.
So how in the hell do these things hurt him? When he would literally, if he runs into them, he would literally just be running into the side of them.
Ah.
Why would the side of spikes hurt?
That's video game logic, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much. But you can see how useful that spell is.
Oh, very.
Just kills everything, which is amazing.
The sorcerer's sanctuary, his laboratory. Inside was all manner of items arcane, pickled bodies, dissected corpses, both man and beast, and metal construct that heaved arcs of energy into the air. I sensed more than one force being manipulated in this place. Strange. Rarely did a sorcerer condescend to work with others.
So you mentioned a few videos back an area that we walked into looking like a lab. It very well could have been.
Yeah.
Since that's obviously a laboratory there, so that might have been a laboratory.
Ah, alchemy labs.
Yeah, you never know. Yeah, you're going to see me do this a lot throughout the rest of this game. I don't think I used this spell much on my original playthrough, but now I'm going to be doing it all the time. Because it's amazing.
Hey, if it saves time.
Yeah. The sad thing is there are so many abilities you have in this game that I've never used.
Like all these side weapons you can equip.
Yeah. You get a ton of different items that you can use in place of magic if you want to. If you equip one of them, like Flays or Fonts of Putrescence, they do take over your magic. So you would use that instead of your magic. It's the same button, X on PlayStation. And it took me forever to figure out how to get to that menu. I'm not sure why, but it did. And I'm actually really surprised I don't have tainted blood right now. I know there's a section in here where I end up with tainted blood for a long period of time and I just don't care.
It might have a time limit to tainted blood.
It could, maybe. I'm not really sure. I'm not going to pretend I know this game very well. Right, so we have to come through here to flip more switches because this game loves its switches.
They should have just called it Legacy of Kain's Switch Flipper.
Yeah. That would be pretty accurate. These Blood Omen games have a lot of switch flipping. I could not replicate this. During my original playthrough, I fast forwarded that same part, and I loved the way the music sounded in that fast forward mode, but I don't know what the speed was I put it on, so I couldn't replicate it, unfortunately. It sounded badass. There are some of those spike balls here which get annoying.
Yep, and they're giving you the slowdown.
Yeah. And unfortunately, I can't just take a portion of that video and put the audio in to show what the music sounds like sped up because I talk over all of that. I was looking back at that video and the music sounded, and I even thought it at the time that the music sounded badass, fast forwarded. This music I always think of as some sort of Nosgothian rave music. And I believe we're getting a new ability here.
How convenient. This armor, wrought with the blood of noblemen, drains the blood from my enemies for me, leaving me to focus on the slaughter at hand.
Nice.
Ooh. Now that's handy. Then you wouldn't have to keep casting that spell all the time. The armor's doing it for you.
Very nice. Well, you'd still have to fight the enemies, I'm pretty sure, but that does sound very useful. And I do see that I did actually equip a different armor. I'm not sure which one I've got, but at least I don't have the bone armor equipped anymore.
Maybe it's that, is it Chaos Armor?
Probably. That's the one I'm probably going with the rest of the game, unless a better one comes up. Enemies hurt themselves whenever they hit you when you're wearing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that spell.
It's very handy.
Yep. And I went back, I missed somebody, so I went back to feed off of them. I can't leave a person just chained up like that.
Kain's a caring soul.
Yep, he likes to take their blood out of their bodies through kinesis. Oh, this is handy. So you have to kill those two monsters to unlock that door, so just using that spell makes that go really quickly.
Nice.
So keep that in mind when you play this.
Indeed. Although I probably won't have infinite magic.
No, that definitely will not be a thing, but you can still use the spell.
'Tis a spell worthy of the necromancer himself. This allows me to dissect a creature's soul from its vessel of flesh. For these poor wretches, only oblivion awaits.
That almost sounds a bit like another character we're going to meet in this series once we get to the next game.
Hmm?
Although technically, I guess we kind of meet him a little bit in this game. Technically. But that gets into story spoilers that I'm not going to get into.
Spoiler warning. Spoiler warning.
And save point warning, you definitely want to use it here because we get a boss fight that I'm going to trivialize.
Ah, not one, but three. Dejul the Energist, Bane the Druid, and Anacroth the Alchemist. How considerate of them to hasten my search.
So the Scourge of the Circle has arrived!
Fear him not, Bane. He is but a whelp. His soul is ours for the taking.
Don't be ridiculous, Malik. To our aid.
Damn you, alchemist! I had not come this far only to have my quarry escape.
Vengeance. Vengeance for my eternity of suffering.
Whelp! As if you knew what eternity was. Grovel before your true master!
Never. I'll hack you from crotch to gizzard and feed what's left to your brides.
As Vorador clashed against Malik, I gave pursuit to the fleeing wizards, the Jewel and Bane. I danced their dance. When the time came, they would dance upon my sword.
His magic is weak! He is an affront to nature itself! It is our duty to purify him!
Burn, wretched vampire! Burn!
I don't know why that chick's voice makes me laugh.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, that's all we see of Malik. Vorador's going to take care of him. And like I foreshadowed at the end of the last video, his storyline is very anticlimactic.
The antler headdress had broken in the fight, but power still resided in its ivory form.
Which I find quite annoying. And yeah, that guy will spawn water, so that will cause you some problems. And I left the one-hit kill enemies cheat on for this battle because it's such a tedious, annoying one. So you have to chase that guy down and keep hitting him while dodging water. I didn't want to fucking deal with it. And then you've got this chick over here who just sits behind her little protective barrier.
Which you have to pick away at.
Yeah, and she'll respawn it too. You'll see that in a moment, if it hasn't already happened.
No, not yet.
Shows you how much I pay attention to my own videos. Bitch, just give it up. See, there it is.
But you got her.
Yep. So go into mist form to come up here.
The cloak was made from an alloy akin to lead, heavy and malleable, woven into fine links. The energy she controlled was stored in this garment.
Awesome.
What about the other fella?
We got an antler thing from him.
No,
so
no, the third one.
I think he got away.
He went...
Pretty much, Zoidberg. So now we got that taken care of, we can get the hell out of here.
I found Malik's helmet amongst the scattered remnants of his armor, whole and intact. Vorador had finally laid his old adversary to rest.
Very anticlimactic. And I'll spare you all that transition.
The helmet of Malik I placed before the Pillar of Conflict. The pillar accepted its offering. Thus it was restored. The act had taken on the feel of ritual. Isn't it strange how we must bribe our gods to stay? At the foot of the energy pillar, I set the cloak of Dejul. The pillar accepted its offering. Thus it was restored. The antler headdress of the druid Bane I lay before the nature pillar. The pillar accepted its offering. Thus it was restored.
You must seek Azimuth the Planer at the heart of Avernus. 3 instruments await you to aid you in your quest. But first you must rise, and you must fall, and find your salvation in between.
Absolutely none of that made any sense, Ariel, but okay.
Indeed.
Instead, we're going to take a nice little bat trip. And this one I did leave in. Kain's been through a lot. I think he just needs a nice trip through the scenery.
Indeed.
Nice.
Nice, relaxing flight.
Yeah, everything's pretty... Oh, God, what the hell? Well, in fairness, this is probably pretty to Kain. But this is the fast travel point for Dark Eden, and we need to come back here.
Ah.
See, I don't know if this is the same cave from earlier.
It looks like it.
So I think it might be, which will lead to a save point, and where I'm going to end the video here. So thank you very much for watching. We will see y'all next time with more Blood Omen.
Have a good day.
Indeed.